Central Wyoming College volleyball getting ready to unfold as the regular season comes to an end in Region 9 North. And I'm John Gabrielson, Joel Kindle with me, and it's been a wild ride, and we're not there yet, but we're about a week of, we're going to get a couple hours away from getting a regular season in, and then another week from getting an entire season in for a bunch of teams and getting some national qualifiers. And in the COVID era that is and everything that has happened, I think that's a welcome sight and a remarkable one at that.
Yeah, good point. Something we've really not talked about in our recent games, because I guess it seems somewhat back to normal to us, whereas the season started with no fans. But I guess we should just be awfully pleased we've had a season for these athletes at Central Wyoming College.
You know, I know we were there when we talked at state basketball for 1A, 2A, and then again for 3A, 4A the next day, that just the fans complying, wearing masks, I mean, and when they're allowed, I mean, the no fans at first to a limited number of fans and still having to wear masks and check in and things like that. And I think it's a credit to everybody, and especially our administration, Steve Barlow and Sarah Watson and Adam Simon, with all of the rules and regulations and everything that those three have had to put up with.
Not everybody likes it, but,
right,
you know, so.
And you got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff and the athletes for enduring all of it as well. And not just our volleyball team, but all 8 of our sports teams that are in competition right now at CWC.
Plus, I think we'll always remember, you and I were at state basketball last year when the guillotine fell, and I think that's probably something I think we'll perhaps remember for the rest of our lives, what it was like. It was just eerie. Like, I was the last guy out of the event center because I had more equipment to take care of than anybody else, it seemed like.
Did Ron Laird make the announcement at the event center?
He did.
Okay,
but it was 2 announcements. Remember, first, we're going to post, first it was everybody out except for certain media.
Players,
and
coaches,
then it was
and
going to be
media.
just us.
Yeah.
You know, who we were broadcasting for, and then postponed, later on canceled. But it was like, it was just so odd. I guess there was other people there. There were 3 officers besides me, making sure everybody else had cleared.
Yeah, Trevor Wilson made a similar announcement at Casper College when I was getting ready to do my first game of the state tournament last year, and then it just kind of went, radio silent around the world for the next few months. No March Madness. The NBA canceled their season, the NHL. And I think that
men's swimming and diving championships.
When it hit me, I guess the biggest thing was that, okay, this is something to be reckoned with. Obviously canceling state basketball, but the canceling of March Madness and the billion-dollar industry that is, when that went by the wayside, I'm like, okay, we got something going on here. And for these teams to endure that, and here we are playing the last game of the regular season in January, February, and March of college volleyball that normally plays in August, September, October, November. Here we are. Let's get it finished.
And some teams never played at all. The Ivy League canceled all sports,
Getting the final swings in for these 2 teams as the CWC ladies got a big win last night over Casper, and that is helping propel them. If they can win this match here, they will be the number 2 seed and get a first-round bye and then play at 1 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon in Casper. If they do not win, they're going to need a little help out of Eastern and LCCC playing each other a little bit later today. But the win last night gives them a tiebreaker against those teams, beating Casper, the front runner, if in fact they end up tied with the next one down the list. And
I think there is some danger in this game, however, because you're coming off such an extreme high of last night. A team they defeated, I think, 3-1, I believe, the first time they played, in Rock Springs. But obviously they're capable of winning. But it's like, and we are the better team, certainly, but the better team doesn't always win.
Yeah, the ladies from Western Wyoming coming in. They were swept last night at Northwest. First time these teams did meet. Central won 3-1, as Joel mentioned, and they are winless in conference play and 3-12 overall. And Steve Barlow will give us our starting lineups here in just a quick moment.
One of the wins over Colorado Northwestern by chance.
Negative.
Welcome Coach Friedan Soto and Western Wyoming to Rutherford Gymnasium.
Just a wild guess.
One of them. Dawson Williston.
Please rise for the national anthem.
And now we'll get our national anthem here.
Just want to remind you that the NJAA, CWC, and Western Wyoming support good sportsmanship, so please support each other in all that you do today. Fans, cheer for your favorite team and not against the other. Thank you. Now let's meet all of the players. First, for Western Wyoming, number 1, Savannah McEwen. Number 2, Peyton Reese. Number 3, Rice Brent. Number 6, Abigail Von Vossen. Number 7, Hannah Lamone. Number 9, Shelby Squires. Number 12, Jaden Robeson. Number 15, Kaylee Welsh. Number 16, Abby Barages. Number 20, Ayana Archuleta. Number 23, Logan O'Toole. Number 25, Ramsey Wakinakona. And number 32, Tiana O'Toole. Western's coached by head coach Frida Soto, and she's assisted by Teresa Algier. Before we meet these young ladies, I'd like to recognize this is their last home game of the season. I want you to know how much we appreciate them, especially those sophomores in their last game here today. And parents, thank you for sharing them with us for the last 2 years. We appreciate all you do for them and us, so thank you. First, number 1, Sophie Langer. Number 2, Alex Lee. Number 3, Sage Burnson. Number 4, Ava Rasmussen. Number 5, Ashlyn Ibaugh. Number 6, Mary Moyle. Number 7, Jordan Flippens. Number 8, Ashley Steffen. Number 9, Mackenzie Templeton. Number 10, Anna Maria Duralia. Number 11, Caitlin Lacasio. Number 12, Alondra Hernandez. Number 13, Marley Albrecht. Number 14, Peyton Williams. Number 15, Missy Mortensen. And number 18, Haley Isom. The wrestlers are coached by head coach Darcia Gallard, and she's assisted by Brooke Thompson. Today's officials are Deb Country and Jenna Jordan. Ladies, let's play ball.
Haley Isom wanted me to do a shout out for her, but she didn't say to anybody in particular. So I guess a shout out courtesy of Haley Isom, I guess, and that's about it. But I asked her if she would, thought about dressing for this. She can't play. She's injured right now. And I guess it's too bad that she can't, but I guess the good news is she's a freshman, and it's not like her sophomore year has come to an abrupt ending.
Yeah, Ice Cube. Ice was doing pronunciations at the beginning of the year, and I said Isom, and she goes, yes, like Ice Cube. And I was thinking, okay, Vanilla Ice, like a little age difference between the two of us.
Yes, it was an iced tea with that extended warranty stuff he's doing.
Fred Ansoto, the head coach of the Western Mustangs, they are coming in. I said, please don't take any disrespect in this, but what's happened with Western? You guys went from first to last this year, and she said, we have struggled. She called it the struggle bus. And in one instance, one of their players passed away in September, Kaylee Welch. A Green River player, and
that has to be a huge factor.
Yeah, on all of the girls. They lost 3 recruits because of COVID. They've had their share of injuries, which unfortunately happens, but I just cannot imagine losing a teammate and classmate and family member like a volleyball team is like that, and have to come back and play in this weird time that is COVID.
And then Abby Van Vossen, who played for us last year, comes back to here. And she was on the lesser team last year, and she transfers, and she's on the lesser team again this year.
Though, Central beat Western 2 out of 3 times last year. One was the quote-unquote, was it a scrimmage game at the beginning of the year? But
we'll go through this again.
No, I know, but, Central did. Western won the North last year, but Central had beaten them 2 out of the 3 times. As we're underway with volleyball, Templeton down the line with a nice dig by Wakinakona. Back set goes Ava Rasmussen. That's deep and out. And it's 1-0 Western Wyoming. They are in black with red stripes on the long sleeve jerseys today. White numbers, red trim, Western across their front. Central in the charcoal grays, the orange words with the white numbers.
In Tennessee, they're called smoky gray, but we're not in Tennessee, so.
This will be campfire gray. Langer sets middle. Rasmussen will go wide, and it's 2-0 Western.
Another way you can tell the difference between the two teams is one team has a rather fulfilled bench, and the other one has not much of a bench.
Yeah, 3 players you see on the bench over there as well. Peyton Reese, her twin brother Justice Reese, plays for the Western men's basketball team. 2 sets of twins on this Western team, so to speak, one of them being the other half of a boy-girl twin situation, as that ball set too far and sent too far by McEwen, and it's 2-1. Logan and Tiana Otu, twins, number 23 and number 32, both on the sidelines right now cheering on their team, as Ava Rasmussen will get it going.
Interesting too on the twins. They're 23 and 32. The numbers inverted.
Back row, Rasmussen. Nice dig in the back row by Squires, and then they will score.
That's a pretty good block put up, but she just went sideways, not knowing that the block was in front of her, and it worked very well.
3-1 the score. Western out in front. McEwen serving. She is a 6'3" freshman from Bountiful, Utah. 3 Rock Springs players on this roster, as Templeton gets dug in the back row by Squires from Idaho Falls. Langer blocked at the net by...
Yeah, Langer was 3 out of 3 on hits yesterday.
Van Vossen will tally against her old team, as Abby, a 6'1" freshman out of Ogden, Utah, will score. And it's 4-1, Western out in front.
We saw Abby quite a bit last year. I'm not sure what her job was, but I somehow managed to bump into her quite often, and sometimes somewhere in this building more than others.
I think she worked for the athletic office, as a matter of fact.
That could be why, because those offices are over here in this building.
Templeton tallies as it goes off of McEwen. Templeton, a 6' freshman from Highland, Utah, and the Fountain Hills, Arizona freshman Sophie Langer will go back to serve it up.
5 Utahns on this Western team, on this Western roster, which is somewhat defunct because it's not nearly as big as the roster printed.
Overpass, and Templeton connects. Sage last night with double-digit kills, and now Kenzie on her way with 2 early. Haley Isom getting a shout out on the video board there as well, across the way. Blocked at the net by Moyle and Mortensen.
I did point out that we mentioned her in the starting lineup every time, even though she's hurt. So, but she still wanted the shout out. So, very likable young lady appears.
And you know they all are. And I see.
Yeah, we've talked about this through the years. We've been blessed somewhat.
Getting to interview most of our athletes on the Rustler Report, as Van Vossen off the top of the net gets dug by Templeton. Back set Moyle to the back row. Squires gets the first piece of it, and it's sent over by Robinson. Langer, Templeton, nice dig by O2. Back, actually that is not O2, excuse me. That is Joaquina Kona, and they will tally another one, Will Western.
And that's where the net is your friend.
Hannah Lehman to serve. She's from Hennifer, Utah. If you take that back road into Ogden, you'll go through Hennifer, I do believe.
I have never taken that road, believe it or not.
Have not gone to Lagoon. Templeton off the top of the block will get her 3rd kill.
No, I haven't.
5-5 our score.
I usually go down to the national park part of the state.
I was going to say you're more into the monuments, and I'm more into the amusements. 5-5 Templeton serving. Squires the receive. Van Vossen goes directional, but it's picked up by Burnson. Weird kind of hit by Templeton from the back row. Van Vossen kind of shovels it over. It gets blocked back in their face, and they will tally Mortensen and Moyle again.
Talked to a number of people. Even CWC parents were impressed by that 40-foot chicken wing yesterday by Casper College.
A little baseball swing at it. 6-5 Central, their first lead. Back set blocked by Burnson. Going to get it is the libero Reese Brandt. Keeps it alive. Burnson through a block will get her first kill of the afternoon. First of our triple header coverage of sports today. The first time I can remember it in my history with Central, and we'll get a timeout on the floor.
But it's weird. Casper College had a triple hitter all in volleyball earlier this year right here.
True. Triple hitter here with the volleyball team now. Then it'll be women's basketball against LCCC at 4. And then at 6 o'clock it is men's basketball versus LCCC. And they just played those two teams yesterday. And this was kind of interesting in how the men and women both played in Cheyenne yesterday, and they all 4 drove to Riverton last night. Not together, obviously, but they all made the trip and stayed the night in Riverton. So, well, I guess I shouldn't say that for LCCC. I'm not sure if they actually stayed in Casper or something, if they broke up the trip or not, but I know that they were all headed this direction. Rodeo team wrapping up the Eastern Wyoming College Rodeo, and doing so with heavy hearts after the news of a tragic passing of a former CWC rodeo athlete, Hadley McCormick, who passed away in an automobile accident earlier this week. And it's just that's been happening all too familiar with our poor rodeo team. Unfortunately, had one, I believe, last year or the year before, another one in an automobile accident.
I think back to our first men's basketball team who has lost 2 members off that team.
Yeah. Way too soon. Back row, Joaquina Kona, dug by Langer. Back row, Templeton. Good dig by Lehman. Outside, Squires goes outside and out. And it's 8-5 out of the timeout. Central scores the point. Talked with Fred Ann Soto before the game, and she had high praise from her husband Mario on the broadcast. So Mario, the check's in the mail. We appreciate you saying good things about the C-Dub broadcast. We'll have our students do the ladies game a little bit later. Nice find by Mortensen.
Not very good find by Western, as it really wasn't hit that hard, but nobody made much of an approach towards that ball.
Yeah, I don't think they had the chance, as it was a very good placement for Mortensen to find that.
Hustle.
9-5 the score.
Peyton would have crashed into the floor over that.
Wyatt Barichka, and there's a Sage stuff at the net. And Central rolling now 10-5 after falling behind fairly early.
Haley Isom directing the cheers, by the way, on the bench. So we're giving her all sorts of shout outs, as it turns out.
Holding the clipboard,
very well.
Doing it all at the same time. Our 2 play-by-play guys for the women's game are downstairs running cameras right now. And Burnson through the block will tally. And how about, we talked about Sophie Langer coming home from Torrington at 1 o'clock in the morning Wednesday morning, and then being up by 7 to run the check-in station for the health station. Riley Bouillon is on the CWC golf team. They got back from Otero late last night / this morning, and here he is running cameras at noon as Moyle terminates on the far side.
I should have been suspicious of Sophie when she said my temperature was 43.4. But
Larry, the chant for Mary Moyle.
Riley said he had a good start to the golf tournament, but not such a good ending.
CWC men finished 3rd. The women won it behind a 1-2 performance by the CWC ladies. Kira Sponenberg getting the W. Deep. Picked up by Templeton. Burnson. First hit by Lehman. Back row coming Joaquina Kona. Nice job by Langer. Another good job by Templeton, and a free ball by Hernandez. They'll set it over in 2. Langer back sets to Moyle and into the net. 3rd time that has happened for Western Wyoming called in the net. That one is Logan Otu.
We have had the longest run of no double hits that I think we've had all year.
I think in history.
Since Western civilization.
I was watching Memphis and CSU this morning as background noise, eating a bowl of cereal, and they were talking about the flop hasn't been hardly called, and I can't recall any flops being called in the games we've done in basketball this year either.
I've seen the warning at the NCAA level on a couple of them, but
good swing by Jaden Robinson, the 5'6" Rock Springs former Lady Tiger.
And in pros, I saw LeBron James get called for, of all people, earlier this season.
Peyton Williams checking into the game for Central. out of Syracuse, Utah. Never listed at 5 foot. She's taller than 5 foot. What does the actual program say? That'll be an ace by Robinson.
5'9".
Okay. I knew she
after she hit her head, she might be down to 5'8".
I knew she wasn't 5 foot, but that's what happens when you get my technologically.
That explains some of that stuff you've carpentered around your house.
Yeah, exactly. There's another ace by Robinson. 13-8. Overpass a bit. Burnson will tap it over with the left hand. To the outside, Joaquina Kona is long and out.
You don't see it in the stats at all, but Burnson really saved that point because that thing was not very playable and was able to bring it back into play. And I don't think there's any stat for that, but that was huge to get that point eventually.
Did so with the left hand. 14-8 Central by 6. They'll go at the libero Brandt.
Which is somewhat unusual that you do that because that's typically in there for that reason.
Ava ends up putting one in the campfire as she kind of mistimed the set a little bit and dumps it in nonetheless.
Need another term besides campfire. We got to find another term. The eye of the storm.
Let's stick with campfire. Back row, nice up with one hand, Hernandez. Then Burnson blocked but picked up in the back row by Robinson. To the outside, Joaquina Kona. Ramsey's dug up in the back row by Hernandez. Sage, great athletic move to come get it. They had to kind of juggle around the fallen player, did Williams and Burnson, and they had a good effort, but Sage sending that one just a little wide, and here comes Brandt to serve at 15-9 Central by 6.
Yesterday, the scrambling team would have won that point.
Yeah.
And I've talked to parents about that, also one of the officials, and they were saying that was interesting too yesterday, how that was played.
Burnson takes a little heat off and ends up with her first kill of the day. That's her second, actually. She does have a block in there as well. Larry Moyle serving. Back row. Good job by Hernandez against. Langer had to run around Ava, and we'll see our first double hit of the weekend called.
Is that like the free throw hex in a way? Or?
Well, she had to run around Ava. Her and Ava got tangled up.
She kind of pushed her, I noticed, to move her out of the way, you know, but it's what you do.
Yeah. Serving Squires outside Burnson with the left hand, saves another one as it got sent behind her. Sage, Squires, touch, kill. Templeton returning for Peyton Williams, P Money.
Interesting how so many of our bigs are very proficient in that back row.
All Region 9, Burnson serving. Again, a win, and Central will go in as the number 2 seed as that goes out, no touch.
It's sort of weird. The excitement isn't here today like it was last night, and maybe it's the time of the day or something, but, you know, it's kind of a ho-hum 18-10 lead, you know, seemingly.
And as much as it shouldn't be this way, and I don't think the crowd, I mean, even though it's you can't have a capacity crowd, so to speak, the crowd's not as big today. The crowd's not as active, but you're also not playing the front runners in the conference either. And I know a lot of people show up.
Casper College is Casper College.
Right. I know a lot of people will, you're going to go to the game? Well, who are we playing? Instead of go support your team. It's like, well, who will I get to watch if I go? Well, we're going to play a team that's leading the conference. Oh, yeah, I'll probably come. Oh, we're going to play a team that's not leading the conference. Then it's maybe. And it is a beautiful spring day out there in Fremont County today, as a matter of fact. But C-Dubs playing their final regular season games of the season at home, both in volleyball and then ladies basketball and then men's basketball. Thanks to our broadcast crew, as Wyatt Barichka focused on Riley Bouillon there for a moment. Riley behind the CWC bench. Shanna Miller and Jay Atencio are high at top Rustler Gymnasium. And Jackson Morris is directing once again today. Got his feet wet yesterday, and he's going to do it again today. So thanks to Amanda Nikoloff and the new media degree program here at Central Wyoming College, putting together a pretty darn good broadcast. Now if they could just find somebody good to announce and replace the two of us. 18-10, back set. Squires, actually it's Robinson, out of the timeout. Fred Ansoto out of timeouts now. They score, it's 18-11. Ramsey Wakinakona, 5'8" sophomore out of Hawaii. Goes at Burnson, back sets Rasmussen. Squires in the backcourt can't field that one, and Ava with another kill.
I noticed the Sage poster is back out there, but at a much different locale. It's, I think, more adhesive to the cement block than it is the cushioning.
Well, it has had the biggest target on it last night, as it was destroyed a few different times.
I was going to suggest stapling it to the soft thing, but I don't think that would have worked so good.
It wouldn't make
Steve Barlow real
the
happy.
Athletic staff very happy there. As Central zigging and zagging in a Western attack gets a termination.
CWC did such a great job covering the court last night in their win against Casper College.
McEwen serving. And a double will be called again here. So yeah, now we've talked about it. We've uncorked it.
And we've had the double on the doubles.
Had to go to the archives, and that was Squires from the back row that got that kill a moment ago for Western. As McEwen still serving, 19-13 Central. I was going to make a note for our engineer to turn the comments on for the broadcast, but
This is the last chance, isn't it?
didn't get that done. Another kill coming for Central, another termination.
Sophie up to 50% now on the day. With all those various different hitters in that front row, it's pretty much Sophie's choice as to which to go to. Been sitting on that all year.
Brought it out.
Had my one last opportunity.
Caitlin Lacasio will check into the game. Caitlin, a 5'7" freshman out of Littleton, will be a server. She'll come to the 10-foot line, send it middle Mortensen, and it goes wide.
As I mentioned, Sophie, she takes a little bit of a break. Didn't come out, I don't think, yesterday at all, I don't believe.
Lehman serving. Templeton tallies past a diving 0-2 in the back row. Kenzie's fourth kill. Another Central point. Up 7 with 3 to go here in game number 1. Robinson. And another net violation on Western. They have had a number of those. I believe that's the fourth one of the first set.
It wouldn't be winning without them, but it would be closer.
Kind of like the service errors yesterday. Game point, Rustlers. 24-15. Robinson. Lacasio gets the first hit. Outside Sage at the 10-foot line. And they're going to call something on that. What do they call it? Double.
Boy, that's a pretty tough call there. I think that one wasn't nearly as least obvious to us.
As pronounced as some of the ones we've seen for sure. Central with a 10-point win in game 1.
They're making up for the lack of those calls earlier in the season, I guess.
25-15, Central takes game one. Game two on the way from the final home regular season game of the year for CWC. Game one, Central 25-15. Here from Central Wyoming College, Riverton, Wyoming. I am John Gabrielson, the instructor of radio broadcasting and manager of 88.1 Rustler Radio. That is Joel Kindle, works in master control of Wyoming PBS, the great Mystic One. Central again a 10-point W. First of three broadcasts for you today along Rustler Media Sports Network. Have the women's basketball team coming in at 4 o'clock against LCCC. The men's team will follow at 6 o'clock. As they'll tear down volleyball and lower the rims and play some hoops. Not sure, so volleyball begins Wednesday in Casper. Not sure when the play-in games for basketball will be, if they've actually been determined of when they will be and locations and opponents and that kind of thing. Robinson takes out the line judge with a shot that goes deep and out. Central will start 1-0. C-Dub's soccer team will get their second season officially underway on Thursday down in Colorado. Nice dig by Hernandez of McEwen, and then Burnson sends it over. Joaquin Icona dug by Burnson in the back row. Templeton 10-foot roll shot. Back row, Squires blocked by Rasmussen.
Nice job, kept it into court as well.
Central out killing the Mustangs in the first stanza 11-4. Out-blocked him as well. Joaquin Icona on the right side. 10-foot line, Burnson blocked by McEwen. Right side back row, Moyle goes off the tape. I think they say that there was a touch. It didn't look like a touch to me. But Central gonna play it nonetheless. They'll go back set. Moyle, Rasmussen knocks it down. I think Central might have got away with a 4 hit there, but Coach Soto standing right next to the out-of-bounds line, talking with their setter, Hannah Lehman. Short serve. Outside, Templeton connecting. And, you know, another thing you're talking about kind of just is a little flat. We don't have the ball retrievers on this near side running balls back and forth.
That changes everything.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you don't have it one game, you got it the next game, and it may be a staffing situation. I don't know what it is, but it's just a little bit different situation. 4-0 Central. Burnson ace off the net and in front of a diving libero Brandt.
So he's having a nice final weekend here.
Very nice. 3 kills and an ace. He had a couple of aces last night as well.
Just a final volleyball weekend. We expect her to see him back in class on Monday.
That one goes deep and out as we bragged her up a little bit, and then she sent the serve long, unfortunately. CWC will be closed on Friday, by the way. Spring holiday at C-Dub on Friday. Almost an ace returned back, but Langer wings it back up. Moyle from the back row. McEwen can't get it. Nice alert play by Brandt to bring it over, and then Brandt is there to dig that one out of the campfire. Robinson throws it into the block of Rasmussen, who brings it back up. Templeton is blocked by McEwen. Templeton again down the line. Joaquin Icona is there. McEwen sets it out. Robinson dug by Hernandez. Back row Burnson. Good dig by Squires. Overpass and into the net goes Rasmussen.
Definitely our longest point of the match.
5-2 the score. Joaquin Icona to serve for Western. Trailing 5-2, trailing 1-0. Second hit from way back, but they'll get the kill, or will they not? Yeah, they called Robinson for being over the line, and Central will.
To the more excessive over the lines last night, one that was called.
One that was not. Ava serving with a 4-point advantage.
I think had we tripped a player on the other side, it might have been called.
That'll be an ace. Second ace of the day for the Rustlers. Western had 2 aces in the first set. However, ended up on the short end of the equation, 25-15. As Coach Soto, I said, what happened last night? She said, we never really got off the bus. And that's a nice kill in by McEwen. And she said, when I was asking her about the dissension from first down to the bottom side of the bracket of the equation, she said, it's been the struggle bus, and she says, we never got off that struggle bus last night. So Templeton kills another one.
I guess the wrong way to go with mass transit is the old struggle bus, if you ask me. But
they do have a different bus, though, not that older model white school bus that they had. They've got a nice little tour travel bus that they were in today. And you wonder how, out of necessity, how teams have done that, because you've got to send basketball teams in one direction and volleyball perhaps in another, when you don't normally have that much of an overlap, a little bit about a month of an overlap perhaps in November as that serve goes out.
We used to have schools too that would contract. I mean, I think Gillette did, didn't they, in high school?
And this looks like a charter bus that they've got parked out back here today as well. Nice little bus. Is Templeton, is it in? It's not in, but was it touched? No.
It was close.
8-5. Kinsey has 7 kills, by the way, to lead Central today. Sage show last night. Kinsey's on the hot hand here today. 0-2 serves it over. 10-foot line, passed over by Moyle. Ball bounces off the back of the head as 0-2 went in to get it, and Squires has it bounce off her noggin. And it will be a point for Central. 9-5 advantage.
Game kind of just creeping along the same way the first one did.
Back set, Squires sends it over and gets a kill on the pass. Wow.
They got a kill on an underhanded hit, basically, which.
Second kill for Shelby Squires out of Idaho Falls, Idaho. Peyton Williams in for
There's a nice bridge there, by the
Kenzie
way.
Templeton. I was going to not pause and not let you get that in. I was going to filibuster the rest of the
We're going to vote that down.
rest of the game, trying to keep that out of the broadcast, but Mortensen pokes it over. Squires with another kill. Central win means a number 2 seed and a first round, I say first round bye, a morning bye. You don't have to play in those pigtail play-in games at 8 or 10 in the morning, which is kind of chaos as Burnson tallies, because you're playing side by side. There's a lot of activity. I mean, the volleyball games are kind of chaos
I'd
anyway.
kind of like to see how that's configured there, because I've never seen that. We've been to Casper College many times.
I have only been there one time when the bleachers have not been pulled out, and they all pull back to the balcony level of the mezzanine as they're cleaning up some.
Well, there used to be a stage at that one end, and I saw Steve Martin perform there way back when.
I saw Casper Natrona graduation from that gymnasium with that stage there, as a matter of fact. Jane Robinson gets put to work cleaning up.
You know, it's interesting, too. You wonder what kind of communication, Abby Van Vossen can have. Typically you would visit with the other team, shake hands, but you don't do that anymore. And I would like if she can communicate at all with her former teammates after a contest like this, or if she'd want to, I don't know. But
I think they can text each other and Snapchat and stuff.
text them over 6 feet away.
10-7 after the stop in play. Burnson, nice dig by Robinson. Joaquina Kono might have sent it out, but Peyton plays it. Burnson has had some pretty good top spin on it to fall in front of O2, and Sage kills another one.
Now, she's had some change-up type hits, and I'm not sure. I don't think they've all been intended, but I think some of them have been, and that change of pace has drawn points.
Far corner is out by the Provo freshman. Third service error of the match for Central. I have no errors on Western. Moyle, that one might have been out as well, as Robinson had to put hands above her shoulders along that back row.
Now, speaking of which, service errors, I went home, looked at the stats of the Texas-Baylor match. Texas had 18 service errors in a 4-game set, and yet overcomes it for a win. But that's way too many service errors.
How many aces did they have? As there's another service.
Risk reward, I think it was 18 service errors, either 6 or 8 aces. So I just.
Yeah, just
and
say
Baylor, I think, had 14 for that matter.
Put it in play for that payback. Williams puts a little mustard on it from the 10-foot line. Back set, great placement by O2 for the kill.
That was interesting because it looked like a set. A lot of times you do the tip, but you disguised it as it looking like a set there, which was pretty interesting looking.
12-10 now. Back set, Rasmussen sends it deep and out.
I think
12-11.
she had to run a little bit too far to get to that one. Western has made some nice plays on occasion, but just apparently doesn't do it for the whole match.
And string enough together. Timeout called by Coach Gallard and the Lady Rustlers. They trail 12-11. Actually, they lead 12-11. They also lead 1-0 on the big scoreboard here from Rustler Gym. Timeout Central. They lead 1-0. Tally by the Mustangs out of the timeout, ties it at 12.
Yeah, blocked there. I just think they saw that play coming that time.
Big swing. And another Central tally to stop the bleeding a little bit. They're back out in front, 13-12. Rasmussen blocked by McEwen. Back row from Burnson. Robinson. Ball hits the top of the net, diving Templeton, and that'll be a kill for Jaden Robinson.
That's the third time they've done that where they've gone so far opposite, tight to the net like that. This one got helped by the net. The other two previous were pretty good, you know, straight ahead just and down.
14-13 Western now out in front. Kinsey down the line. That one goes 3 rows deep. Be careful over there, 0-2, as you went 2 rows deep.
Well, scrambled the Barlow family.
Kinsey with kill number 8. Tiana 0-2 comes to play the back row as Joaquina Kona comes out. They'll go right at her. 14 apiece. That might have been a double, and it goes into the net anyway. 15-14 Central. Interception by Burnson. Touch the ball to the foot. Tradition, hand it back to Ava Rasmussen to serve.
Who started that, you remember? Or?
I'm going to guess it was Sage and Mary had something
Last
to do
year
with
was
it.
the first time we've done that?
That's what I can remember, as that's an ace by Rasmussen as it hits the top of the net and falls into the western side of the court. We'll have to ask that question. Hold my headphones, I'll be right back.
Okay.
10-foot line, McEwen touched at the net by Central. Back row, Sage. Nice dive by Squire, sent back over on 2 by 0-2. Templeton, dig by Tiana 0-2. Free ball from McEwen. Boy, she took a little off speed on that. Mortensen blocked. Campfire, Rasmussen digs it out. Templeton tips it and connects.
By the way, we did have 2 rafter blasters last night, which I never got to point that out.
There was 2 on the one play.
No, it was the hoop one I don't count as a rafter.
Count
that's
the
a
hoop there. Okay.
That's a hoop hitter.
All right. I gotta get my scorecard out. Cut it off the cereal box.
On the underside of a wine tasting thing.
17-14 timeout. Central back out in front by 3. They lead 1-0 from Central Wyoming College. 17-14 C-Dub. They lead 1-0. They took the first 25-15.
By the way, not completely out of the COVID era, by the way. The University of Wisconsin, ranked number 1 in women's volleyball right now, has only played 1 match in the last month. 1. They are 11-0, but still just 1 match.
Nice job by O2 again, redirecting that one at the net. Second kill for her.
I think Wyoming's last 2 matches or one scheduled this week have both been canceled.
I saw that.
Because of COVID-19 precautions.
Yep.
And they're on a pretty good year. They're 8-4, I believe.
Well, I would like to be the VCU men's basketball team as Templeton gets double-digit kills now with 10, 6 of them here in this, not getting to play the NCAA first round.
You see Notre Dame's ice hockey team had to be ruled out, but because of when it occurred, they were able to get Boston College to fill in because it hadn't been past the deadline. So that's supposed to be a great event, that Frozen Four, by the way.
Yeah.
My son John has been to that once in Pittsburgh, where it is again this year.
Blocked by Moyle.
And Steve Weekland at one time was in charge of the PR of that when it was at Alaska Fairbanks.
Steve Weekland, a former Rivertonite.
And the broadcaster.
Langer serving, 19-15 overpass. Templeton brought back over by O2 though. Templeton touched and scores another one.
Yesterday you would have given her the kill already on that.
I would have. I was a little premature with a couple of calls yesterday. I was ahead of the stream, so to speak. I was broadcasting.
Rowing upward.
The action hadn't buffered up to the speed of my broadcasting yet. There's an ace by Langer, and it's 21-15 now. And now Coach Soto will call a timeout. 21-15 CWC. Looking to go up 2-0. They won the first game 25-15. And now poised to do a similar feat. Be on the air about 3:40 pregame for the CWC Women's versus LCCC. I will have an interview with our head coach, Lindsey Fearing. We'll also give you the Rustler report. And then Wyatt Barichka, freshman from Cody, and Riley Bouillon, a freshman golfer from from Salt Lake, will be our
you got to go through Rock Springs to get there.
Play-by-play voices for the women's game, and then Joel and I'll be on for the men's game with the LCCC.
We'll tag in
men's team. And looking at the standings in that, LCCC a chance to win the North and host it. They still have to play today, and they'll have to play again on Wednesday, on Monday.
No high arcing shots, however.
Not in that gym. The South still has games on Tuesday, 3 of them. NJC at McCook, North Platte at Western Nebraska, and Otero is at Trinidad State.
I wonder if they would move any of those to Story Gym if they're hosting. Because they did that in volleyball. By the way,
they did that because of the 2 side gyms they needed.
I know if we were LCCC where we are right now, our heads would be crushed.
Yeah, we might be outside. Down the line is out by Templeton.
Be on the roof instead of below it.
Other basketball games today, Western Wyoming is at Eastern, Northwest is at Casper, and LCCC here at Riverton today. LCCC will be at Eastern, as there's a service error by O2 on Monday.
Western at Eastern looks like the best game on paper there.
Today?
Yeah.
You don't think ours is good? Yeah, not on paper.
Ours is very interesting.
I understand what you're saying. Fred Ann Soto in her 3rd season as the head coach of the Western Mustangs. And
she's seen fire and she's seen rain.
She certainly has, as they were on fire last year in winning the North Conference, and unfortunately it's rained on them a lot this year. As she said, just the struggle bus, and she's just very matter-of-fact about it, and not to keep bringing up bad things, but the death of a player in the middle of a school year is just unreal for a comprehension to think about and have to come back and play and do things. And the year that is still that COVID pandemic, and Boyle is blocked by Van Vossen. Abby, sophomore from Ogden, Utah, played her freshman year here in this gym, and second player to do that. Maddie Gines did that from Central Wyoming College to go to
the former high school wrestler and volleyball player.
She was a Rock Springs kid, though, wasn't she?
She was Farson.
Farson.
But went to Rock Springs.
As
because there was no, just so she could wrestle on a guy's wrestling team.
Burnson with a kill.
Had to commute every day from Farson to Rock Springs, and they practiced before school.
Their head basketball coach, is it Rick Mitchelson, I think? Teaches in Rock Springs, coaches in Farson, and makes that in the middle of winter commute all the time.
And that's, if you look at the highway map, that's kind of the black ice capital of the state.
Nice kill by Shelby Squires to keep this game alive. Central with game point at 24-18. Again, CWC win here gives them the number 2 seed by virtue of a tie-breaking win over front-running Casper, regardless of how Eastern and El Trip turn up, as Ava sends that one wide.
Well, Matty Gines' brother was an outstanding football player. Went to Shadron. Haven't really checked to see if or how he's playing there, you know, but when they won a state championship a couple years ago in basketball and football.
Clancy, I believe his name?
Yep.
Game point Central, and Sage says we're done here. 7 kills for Sage. Central with a 25-19 win in game 2. They lead 2 games to none. They took the first 25-19. Excuse me, they took the first 25-15. They take the second 25-19. We'll take a break. We'll come back, play game number 3 after this. This is Rustler Volleyball on rustlerathletics.com. Game number 2 to Central. They lead 2 games to none, 25-15, 25-19. They outkilled Western 15-7 in that second stanza. They've outkilled them 26-11 in the 2 so far. And we had another sign go down.
But Sages is still standing, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, somebody else has bit the dust. I think it might have been Ana Maria Durelia's Central in their gray
Libero
uniforms.
switch coming.
Yeah, Peyton Williams now wearing the opposite color jersey.
In fact, our other libero was wearing white, wasn't she? Yeah. And so we're switching to a libero in orange.
Maybe I blinked since then, so I don't know.
Have they switched liberos as well?
No, it is still Reese Brandt.
Ah.
Ramsey Wakinakona serving to start game 3. Langer blocked Robison, but Templeton, boy, Robison falls down. And that ball just ricochets. They're giggling all over the place. She just flat out fell down back there.
I've never asked Peyton why she has this approach to her serves. I keep meaning to, but this.
Just ask her why. Just see what she'll answer. Not about the serve, just why. That one she serves into the net.
I don't think she rounded off her turn enough
No,
there before she served it.
I don't look like she kind of had a straight-on approach that time.
Yeah, there was some angle, but not a lot.
1-1. So with some help from one of the Rustler parents, Templeton, I'll tell you, I'll finish my thought here in a minute as that's a double going to get called there. Sean Steffen and I visit about a lot of things Rustler specific sports-wise. He figures that the 1 o'clock game will be against the winner of McCook and Western Wyoming, who have to play the early game in the day to get into the tournament. McCook, the 3 seed from the south at this current moment, and Western being the 6 seed, as that's an ace off of 0-2.
So on paper, you'd think McCook would be the favorite, but
right. But it would be McCook versus Western in that early morning game, and the winner playing Central at 1 o'clock when they put the gym back together as a one volleyball court venue. Van Vossen dug by Williams. Templeton, kill number 12.
By the way, the Templeton parents seem to come to all of our volleyball matches, but the interesting thing about them, they sit in different rows, I've noticed, almost always. One's in one row, one's in the row behind.
Social distancing.
In-depth reporting that we do.
Social distancing.
Well, but what? 18 inches apart, but
4-1. C-Dub. Langer still serving. Not sure if that was by design,
I'm
but
wondering about that myself. Like, was it a mishit that just was very effective?
Robinson, kill number 5. They only have 12 kills, does Western, on the match right now as Central taking control and cruising in this one. Robinson punches it over with the left hand. Rasmussen sends it back with some heat into Wakinakona. And Ava, 5 kills for her. (5-2) Central. Jump serve Kenzie. And a double again. Well, we opened up a can of worms with that, didn't we?
This is more than we've seen the entire season in this one match today. I mean, seriously, I believe it is.
It's been a lot. I don't know if we go
maybe not
go
quite, but
there yet, but 6-2 Central, 7-2 Central.
You weren't in the house yet.
So Joe Glenn used to say the hay is not in the barn.
Oh.
That and other wonderful lines like how do you eat an elephant and cross court.
Maybe should have spent more time coaching.
Less time on the piano. Nice job by Van Vossen as she blocks that one at the net. Ana Maria Durelia will check into the ball game. The sophomore from Serbia. They have her listed as a redshirt freshman on the roster, but honored her at sophomore night yesterday. Did not get in the game yesterday, however.
Did you get a poster?
Yeah, that's one that
Then
fell
it's,
down.
then it's official.
That's the other one that fell down.
That's how you can tell if they're officially
saying goodbye or not.
Yeah.
Squires touched by Burnson. Nice pancake by Langer. And Sage goes back again. Brandt is there. Back row Robison. Burnson through the block. 8 kills, Sage Burnson.
Said we seem to be kind of very mechanical in just, step by step taking this one so far.
Touch of the foot with the ball by Moyle. Sends it back to Rasmussen.
I'd have gum on my shoe if I did that sometime and just stick there for a while.
Free ball from Robison, sent deep to the back row. Deralia. That one.
Well, Sage somehow squeezed it over that way, which is pretty.
Fred Ansoto just kind of beside herself over there on the side. I'm not sure how Central got that ball to go down, but Sage.
I think I was kind of hoping she'd look our way because I kind of wanted to see the expression on her face, but she did not.
Central looking to send Western home on a 3-0 count here today. They lead 9-3 after they're up 2-0 from Central Wyoming College. Once again, thanking our student broadcast crew. Wyatt Barichka is in the Western huddle. Riley Bouillon behind the C-Dub bench, and then Jay Atencio and Shanna Miller high atop Rustler Gym on the game cam and what we call the hero cam. And Amanda Nikoloff, our new media instructor. Jackson Morris is our director here today. Nice save by Rasmussen spinning. Moyle goes cross court. That one will run up the basketball hoop. Good chase by Lehman. That one's not a ceiling one, right? Unless you're going with a hoop.
It's a hoop hitter.
Okay. So you reach for the pencil or drumstick or whatever that is.
Kind of a combo.
10-3 C-Dub. Van Vossen clubs it for a kill. Shot by Abby, second kill of the day for the former Lady Rustler. Reese Brandt to serve. 5'4" freshman from Rock Springs. Ooh, Moyle collides with Mortensen. She's back up. She's all right. Robison. Langer sets Mortensen. Left hand. Back row Robison. Past a diving Peyton Williams, and Robison will get another kill, her 6th.
I'm a little scared for Peyton out there as the libero because she's had the one concussion and she knows she's not going to back down. I just want to see her racking her noggin on the floor somewhere here.
Exactly. And then Moyle after she collided with Mortensen.
And that brought that to mind as well. Those two players both involved in that last play.
Burnson nearly takes out. Oh, the back line judge is showing a touch. It looked like. And yeah, they got the touch out of it, so Sage will get the kill. About took out the back line judge. It looked kind of indiscreet, like, hey, there was a touch back here. They did get the touch, so Central the point, 11-5. Joaquina Kona. The cheers by our C-Dub bench.
Yeah, they've been active really all year, that bench.
Burnson can't fire. Past the pancake attempt, missing the spatula from Joaquin Icona. 11 kills for Sage, 12 for Kinsey. Kinsey back into the game as Derelia checks out. Central has them doubled up, 12-6. Sage from the back row, diving at it is Brandt. Sage will have a dozen kills. And you know, it's just like a year Coach Fred Ansoto's just looking at her demeanor on the bench. It's just like, this is a year you just kind of want to put the lid on and put it on a shelf and be done with it and move on and start building for next year. And it's unfortunately kind of what our women's basketball team is kind of experiencing on a winless season right now. And nice misdirection by Templeton, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen in years that aren't pandemics as well. And
somebody's got to lose.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
And it defines you a little bit on how you come back from those types of things for all parties involved.
I'm surprised this is a sophomore-heavy team at Western is what's interesting too, and they're still down as much as they are.
All ricochets off of the ceiling. Free ball over by Lehman. Back set, Mortensen, good job by Squires and sent free ball back, but too far by Robinson. And Central gets the point. Casper College, Angel Sharman, and then their video guy from their marketing department, Corey Garvin. They'll have the games streamed live next week, because that's an ace.
Will they do a voiceover on anything but even the Casper ones or not?
I don't believe they have, to be honest with you. (15-6). Templeton too hard. 15-7.
That one got up in the Gulf Stream a bit.
Be back in a few hours with CWC women's basketball here from Central. Templeton connects. She's got 13 kills now, does Kinsey.
They've had more balls going to the crowd today than about any other match we've had this year.
You've been keeping track of those?
I'm going to make it up.
7.
Fan finders.
It's a new season high. 7 fan finders we have today.
Yeah, it actually is 7.
Jordan Flippins checks into the ball game.
After a quick review.
Jordan, a 5'6" freshman from Hiram, Utah. Nine-point Central lead. McEwen off of Peyton Williams will tally her second kill of the match. Central has out-killed Western 35-16 by my very distracted, fragmented stat keeping. McEwen serves. Langer has to come get it. Templeton touched the block by Van Vossen, but Templeton with 14 on the kill category.
Notice all my stats have to have alliteration in them to be a stat.
Fan finder, ceiling clanger.
Well, we replaced that with rafter rocker.
Rafter rocker. That's an into the net serve. What's the hoop hit? Is that what
Hoop
it is?
hitters.
Hoop hitters, okay. Not a basket banger.
That would work, but I got we had the clanger. We can't bring back the banger that soon.
Fan grazer. Rasmussen tallying. Ava with 6 kills, a couple of blocks, and a couple of aces as Kenzie Templeton will serve. Joaquin Icona checks in for 0-2. Get to know these coaches fairly well as Ashley's.
I haven't seen Ashley yet in the contest. I imagine we will.
Pushed by Moyle, and that'll be a kill. Talking with Fred Ann Pryor and Mike Swenson, the women's basketball coach, always friendly face. Going to see Ashlyn Ibaugh, I think, checking in here shortly as she's talking with Coach Gallard. Moyle, nice dig by Joaquina Kona. Lehman to the back row, Squires, and she'll score off a block of Rasmussen. Aurelia back into the lineup. And Ashlyn's back into the pack of rustlers
line, yeah.
With Stefan, who I thought we might see a little while ago. Burnson sends it deep. 19-10 Central. Joaquina Kona dug by Williams at the net. Lacasio sets it up for Rasmussen. And nice pancake, no. Caitlin Lacasio back into set for Central, and Missy Mortensen bolts back into the lineup for Peyton Williams. 20-10 our score, and a timeout on the floor. Central up 2 games to none with a 10-point lead. We'll finish it after this on RustlerAthletics.com. (20-10) Central out in front. And again, we appreciate you watching on the World Wide Web. Hey, we've gained 4 subscribers since yesterday. We're up to 804 now. Hit subscribe and stay up to date with the Rustler Sports. And every year in, year out, our broadcast department, new media degree, and Amanda Nikoloff doing a great job with the students as Joaquina Kona connects out of the timeout. Couple of freshmen, couple of sophomores, actually 3 freshmen on the crew today. And of course, Francis Obakoya, he is our Wyoming PBS engineer for providing the stream and all of the behind-the-scenes technical fixing, both on Rustler TV and on Rustler Radio, as Moyle, kind of a right-hand swipe at it, brings it over with some pretty good velocity, and Robinson finds the bottom of the net. Here comes Ashlyn Ibaugh into the contest.
So your grandparents in the crowd.
Her uncle used to be a student broadcaster on 88.1 back in the day.
I've done ball games with him in Casper, in fact.
That being Pat Ibaugh.
Did a good job.
And Ashlyn comes in to serve. 21-11 the score. McEwen, nice dig by Williams. And then indecision. Yeah, the setter was right there, but Ashlyn needs to get out of the way. And that'll be a miscommunication error that costs a point for Western. Squires, short serve. Peyton diving into the picture. Comes up short. Ace for Squires. It's a good serve. 3rd ace of the match for the visitors. 6 aces by Central today. Sage, nice fly in Robinson, and then Sage puts a little more velocity on that one. She has 13 kills. Templeton back in for Duralia. So now I've got my off-season work ahead of me because of something you said, blocked by Mortensen. We're talking about stats and number of kills and number of sets and things, which is all well and good, but then you've talked about the kills per set being the kind of the measurement device. So now
everybody loves math. That's what I was thinking.
Got to go back into the archives and start digging up those stats. I remember our library conversation last night as McEwen wipes one down. Peyton tries to save the day on another one and can't. 23-14, flipping back into the game for Burnson. And that's an ace by Joaquin Acona. Fourth ace of the match for Western. 23-15, we'll give you some quick stats and put the wraps on the regular season at home for C-Dub Volleyball. I'll call that one out.
Score is tightened up a little bit here, but I think CWC pretty safe position.
(23-16). Williams at the 10-foot line, sends it to the other libero. And then McEwen's into the net, and it's match point for Central. And Peyton Williams will go to serve. Match point, Rustlers. Joaquin Acona comes out, 0-2 in.
That was the more deliberate turn on the serve, by the way.
Outside Robinson, blocked by Rasmussen. McEwen digs it. Rasmussen again, and that's how this one ends. 3-0 Central dispatching Western Wyoming.
And it wasn't close.
3-0, they win at 25-15, 25-19, 25-16. They outkilled the visitors 40-19. I have no blocks registered for Western. I'm not saying that they didn't have any, it's just I did not get them on my score sheet. If in fact they did, I had a combination of 10 blocks for the Rustlers, but a couple of those were assists and things like that. 6 aces for the Rustlers, 4 aces for Western Wyoming. 1 service error for the Mustangs, 6 service errors for the Rustlers. Kills leader today, Mackenzie Templeton, 14 unofficially, 13 for Sage Burnson, 7 for Ava Rasmussen, 5 for Mary Moyle, and 1 for Missy Mortensen. Leading the way for Western, Jane Robinson had 6, 4 kills for Shelby Squires, 3 for Savannah McEwen, and Central wins it 3-0. Central 16-8 on the season, 7-3 in the Region 9 North, and secure the number 2 seed into the Region 9 tournament, which begins Wednesday in Casper. More importantly, keeps them out of those first 2 games to make you play an extra game basically that day. Keeps them out of that with a first round bye.
Yeah, and now the gal's going to work immediately disassembling the apparatus at midcourt.
Yeah, the hoops will be lowered. The net is being deconstructed thanks to Shanna Miller and Jay Atencio as they walk past us here in the broadcast position for running cameras. Riley Bouillon and Wyatt Barichka running the cameras down behind the benches of the 2 teams. And we'll be back at you at about 3:40 this afternoon.
Nice momentum for CWC as they hit into tournament play.
About 3:40 will be our game time. So we will be, about 4 o'clock is game time. 3:40 will be our pregame time as Wyatt and Riley will have the women's play-by-play. Cumulative final score, you want to throw that out there?
Oh boy, it's a lot versus not so many.
75-25.
No, not 75-25.
75-50, excuse me. 75-50, a 25-point differential. 75-50 is where that ends up going there. Yeah, not a 25-point differential. Central wins it. Like I said, 16-8 overall, 7-3 in conference play, and the number 2 seed and a first-round bye for the CWC ladies as they win in 3. Final thoughts?
Just a nice weekend for CWC. Like the win over Casper College. I was worried about maybe a letdown. It didn't take place today after the sophomore night and the huge win over Casper, but instead they simply took care of business. That's just what they did.
Casper will take the number 1 seed. Central will be the number 2 seed. They'll play at 1 o'clock against the winner of what looks like McCook and Western Wyoming.
Did we play McCook very early in the year?
I don't think so.
I believe they were at that Western tournament.
Actually, you know what? Now that you mentioned that, I do believe that
hold on.
They did play in that. Against McCook, lost 3-2 against McCook in the first game of the year that counted. In matter of fact, lost that one 3-2 at Western Nebraska. So possibly a little rematch going to be going on in that at 1 o'clock on Wednesday when the Region 9 tournament goes on. For Joel Kindle and Amanda Nikoloff and our new media crew, I'm John Gabrielson. Central wins it in 3 until the pregame of the women's game at 3:40. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon. This has been a presentation of Rustler Media, 88.1 KCWC FM.